Hello, this relates to Unit 9 in Aldwell-Schachter, Inversions of 5-7. The unit begins with this excerpt, and I've recreated it in the computer here, a little bit of Schubert piano music. And the entire excerpt has only these chords in it. The one chord and its inversion 1-6, and then all four inversions of the 5-7 chord, the 5-6-5, 5-4-3, and 5-4-2. Actually, root position doesn't show up, so it's these three are going to show up in the music. And our goal is to be able to get so we can quickly look at a passage like this and, looking only at the bass line, have an idea of what the harmony is. In fact, we can know exactly what the harmony is because each of these chords has a different bass note. We're in the key of A flat, so the one chord has A flat or Do. 1-6 chord has Mi, as usual. The 5-7 chord is going to have E flat, 5-6-5, G. The leading tone is the bass note of 5-6-5. 5-4-3 has Re, or scale degree 2, and 5-4-2 has Fa, or scale degree 4, and always resolves down to a 1-6 chord. You can imagine this D flat here, the seventh of the chord in the bass, resolving down by step to the C in the 1-6 chord. That's the kind of resolution we need because, as you know, the seventh of a dominant seventh chord always has to resolve down by step. So let's look at the excerpt now and take a listen to it. Sibelius will play it for us. So this is the kind of work you're going to be doing in part of your next homework assignment. Let's add the key here to our analysis. So I'm going to just put in A flat colon. That tells us what key we're in here as we begin our analysis. And in measure 1, the bass note is A flat or tonic, and we can tell by looking at the notes and by ear that this is a 1 chord, so we'll put a 1 there. Measure 2, the harmony changes. We've got a new bass note, and the bass note is Re. So all we have to really do is look at our table of possible chords here, and we see it's the 5-4-3 chord that has a bass note of B flat. So we'll put that there. And our bass line goes Do, Re, Mi, Ti, Do. So the next bass note is Mi, and so we know the chord has to be 1-6. We put that there. The chord with T in the bass can't be any of the 1 chords. It has to be an inversion of 5-7, and of course it's going to be the 5-6-5 chord. Put that there. And because 5-6-5 has leading tone in the bass, the leading tone has to resolve, and it does, goes to A flat, and so once again we're back to the 1 chord. Next measure, stay on 1. We got a new bass note here, scale degree 4. That tells us that out of this whole bank of chords here, this has to be 5-4-2, and we kind of know that when there's a 5-4-2 chord, it's going to go to 1-6. There's not anywhere else for it to go, especially with the limited chords we have to work with, because Fa has to come down to Mi, because Fa is the seventh of a 5-7 chord. So this chord is a 1-6, and the last 2 chords are going to be G to A flat. Last time that happened it was 5-6-5 going to 1, and so that's a complete Roman numeral analysis that we did only looking at the bass line and with the information that this is our chord bank, that it was going to be all inversions of 1 or inversions of the 5-7 chord. Also, looking at this nice piano writing, if we pretend this is choral writing, we see something that we recognize, an extremely boring tenor line. Look at that tenor line. It's all E flat except for one note right there. And what would be inner voices in the alto range are also very static. So in your four-part writing, this will encourage you that the great composers did write inner voices that way. Let's listen one more time. Okay, so what I'm asking you to do in your written work is apply this kind of thinking. Look at the key you're in, figure out what the inversions of 1 and all the inversions of 5/7 are, and then you should quickly be able to do this kind of RNFB analysis just by looking at the bass line. This is page 33 from your course pack, and it's the first musical excerpt I'd like you to analyze. Let's get oriented towards the score. This is for vocal solo, tenor, on the top line, and accompanied by 2 piano parts. And we're going to be interested in the second piano part because that's where the bass line is, and we're trying to read the harmonies basically from the bass line. So the music is in the key of D flat major. See the 5 flats there, and it's in 3/4 time. And like a lot of music in 3/4 time, waltzes in general, it's going to be moving with 1 harmony per bar, which we're accustomed to. So let's look at the first bar. We have a D flat on the downbeat. Then in the upper piano part, we see all notes of the D flat major triad. So this is going to be a 1 chord. And I can actually put a 1 into this PDF just like that. So that'll be your first Roman numeral. Now, to go on from here, I'll tell you the chords we're working with are going to be 1, 1, 6, and then all the inversions of 5/7 are possible. 5/7, 5/6/5, 5/4/3, and 5/4/2, just like the music we did a moment ago, the Schubert. So we just use the same process. We're going to go along the lower line, looking at the bass notes, and the bass note that happens on the downbeat of each measure is the one we're going to have to read. If you notice, the second beat of each of these measures is an A flat. That's a harmony note. It's not really the bass note of the chord, and A flat belongs to the 1 chord and also to the 5 chord. So that doesn't really tell us whether we're on 1, 5, or what the inversion is. So we really just need to look at the downbeats. So the second measure looks like it'll be the same chord. The third measure, we get a new bass note, scale degree 2 or E flat. So it's your job to figure out what these chords are and whether 1, 1, 6, 5/7, 5/6/5, 5/4/3, etc. Which one would have a bass note of E flat. You can make your own little chord bank by writing out all those chords in D flat and seeing what their bass notes are. And soon enough you'll be able to do this at sight. So I'd like you to do that one. Then let's just scroll down. There's another page, page 34 in the course pack, where this excerpt from Sibelius, please just fill in the blanks the same way. We're back in the key of A flat major. Notice that we're in treble clef now, so the lowest note here, the bass note, is an A flat in treble clef. That's going to be a 1 chord. Then we go on to a chord with scale degree 4 in the bass. And finally, I'd like you to do this Mozart, just 4 blanks to fill in. We're in D minor, and the bass line is very clear to follow. But again, it's in treble clef, so make sure you notice this treble clef at the beginning of the line.